In part 1, we showed how the query tool works with its 14 operators, and in part 2, we demonstrate how to construct a new query and then save it as a smart code. We also review the actions specific to smart codes, linking smart codes to other codes or smart codes or memos, but not to other quotations, and then show how smart code snapshots can also link to other quotations. And finally, interrogating smart codes. In part 1, we looked at the query tool and constructed a query with just one code, management style, and one operator, the down operator. Now we'll construct a much larger query. Here is a large mixed methods study with 634 documents, each one comprising a set of short answers by a teacher of dance, music, and theatre arts, describing his or her teaching strategies and planned outcomes to a variety of objectives required by the local school district. There are layers of structured coding for the discipline, the objective being written about, and the teacher's comments on their strategies and their outcomes. Codes were used to categorize their responses for further quantitative analysis, and these codes with pound signs are the qualitative evaluation codes, evaluating the relevance and quality of the teacher's responses. This code, field text mismatch, was applied whenever the coder felt that the teacher's responses did not really match the intentions of the objectives. Perhaps we've decided to do a search on all quotations coded to field text mismatch and also coded to teacher collaboration within each objective written about within each of the disciplines, so that we could understand more about which contexts teachers didn't seem to understand the principles of teacher collaboration. So I'll open the query tool and we'll begin building the query. First of all, we want all the quotations coded to the code field text mismatch and teacher collaboration. And if I click on the AND operator, I find this has found 175 quotations. We'll start by limiting that to just the quotations that referred to dance. So I'll continue constructing the query by adding the operator within and then adding dance. And the query builds visually. If I click on the within operator, I find I'm now down to 42 quotations. But I further want to limit this to the ones that came up in the context of objective number 11. So I'll continue by saying and then find the code 11. And if I click on and, I find there are 3 examples of this particular situation. And I can see that one of them is quotation 324:33, meaning the 33rd quotation I made in document number 324. And that is indeed the one that we're seeing here on the screen. At this point, I can save this as a smart code, so that as coding proceeds, I can always look up all examples of field text mismatches when teachers discuss teacher collaboration within the dance discipline for objective number 11. But that may be a little bit too specific. I might decide to back this up 2 steps with the undo button and remove the last step, limiting this to objective number 11. And I might decide to save the query at this point as a smart code, which just refers to the 2 codes, limiting it to the dance discipline. I press the button Save Smart Code, and I might call this Misunderstood Teacher Collaboration, and then I might decide to say, no, Misunderstood Dance Teacher Collaboration. And that's the concept that I'm interested in. And I say Create. And this has now been created as a smart code. I can scroll down and find it in my list right away. Here it is. But as we know, we're interested in reading about this in the context of different objectives. So I've intentionally created this smart code to not include the limitation for which objective it was written in terms of, because now I'm going to use the co-occurrence table, which will show me whenever this smart code produces a result for any of the objectives in a single table without having to build each query for each objective one by one. So now I will open the co-occurrence table and I will ask to see the new smart code, Misunderstood Dance Teacher Collaboration. And then for the rows, I'm going to pick all the objectives. And now in our table, we can scroll down and see whenever there's a quotation that meets the criteria of our SMART code and which objectives it comes up in. For example, objective number 11, there are 3 examples, and here they are. Remember, the code co-occurrence table is really just an extension of the query tool. The co-occurrence table displays an entire set of co-occurrence queries without having to build each one by one. Finally, coming back to the code manager, we have our new SMART code, Misunderstood Dance Teacher Collaboration, which currently has 42 examples of quotations that meet that coding criteria. That's going to change as we continue adding to our coding. But for whatever reason, you might wish to freeze these 42 quotations as being of particular significance, perhaps because it results from the first wave of teachers who completed these evaluations. So this SMART code can be turned into a Smartcodes snapshot, which means creating a regular code with this name, which has these particular 42 quotations coded to it, as if you had coded them manually in the way we're familiar with. All we do is we select the SMART code and press the button Create Snapshot. And here it is. It has the same name with the letters SN for snapshot number 1 after it, and it's coded to these 42 quotations, and it now has the status of a regular code. If I double-click on the snapshot, it will retrieve the 42 quotations, and you can continue using this code to code additional quotations if you wish, because it is just a regular code. Now let's return to the component-specific actions for smart codes. Smart codes can be linked to other codes, or to other smart codes in networks, or they can be linked to memos, just in the same way that any code can. The one difference with a smart code is that a smart code cannot be directly linked to a new quotation. This could create circular references, and ATLAS.ti does not permit that. All the quotations linked to a smart code are linked through the coding criteria in the Smartcodes query. However, Smartcode snapshots are regular codes, and they can be linked to new quotations in the regular way. And interrogating smart codes simply means selecting one, going to Edit Smart Code in order to see its query, and then further additions can be made to the query if desired. Well, this completes our orientation to smart codes and smart code snapshots. We now invite you to read about the next component in Chapter 5 and then watch its component orientation video.